Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week. And I got 9 comics. I got 6 regular comics off my pull list. And my shop managed to reorder for me Uber Invasion 1, 2, and 3. I'm happy to get these. I got Uber Invasion 4 last week, the week before, whenever it was, and put these on my pull list, and they checked and saw that these could be reordered. So, if you're interested in Uber, there's one of the Nazi Supermen tearing up some U.S. troops. This is a really good series. There was, I think, 27 issues in the first series, which I don't have, but I've been reading some of them digitally, called Uber. About in the waning days of World War II, the Nazis invented superheroes, basically, superpowered people, and then the war takes a completely different turn from there. And this new series that they launched is the German invasion of the United States. Also interesting, I noticed in this is for the Germans, they use the Iron Cross rather than the swastika. So I guess they're just not interested in using Nazi iconography for their book. So all throughout the book, they use the Iron Cross for the Germans rather than any Nazi symbolism. So that's just, they still have the same uniforms, I think it is, that the Germans had. They just don't have the red swastikas on them. They have the gray Iron Cross. But I just thought that was an interesting little stylistic choice of how to depict World War II without, if you didn't want to use all those Nazi signs and symbols. But anyway, Uber Invasion, good book. Give it a read, especially since your shop can order 1 through 4 for you. And next we have Dark Horse Presents. What issue is it? Issue number 32, King Warlock and the Bluebird. I don't know, this must be a new one because I don't recognize it. Michael Walsh's. Plus, Francesco Francovilla's The Black Beetle concludes. Shannon Wheeler introduces a new Too Much Coffee Man story and more. I always enjoy this. I guess that's the new one there by Mike Walsh, whoever that might be. There's Francesco Francovilla's Black Beetle. That looks like our Brooklyn Blood cop story. I'm going crazy. Some Too Much Coffee Man. What do we have here? Is that some Savant Part 1 Hubris? Not sure who those people are. The Jock. And let's see, what's this last? Tell us a story, old storytelling bean. Okay. On the back, we usually have a oh, geez, his name just flew right out of my head. Where's his signature? Oh, phew. Can't believe I all of a sudden can't. Jeff Darrow. There we go. We usually have a Jeff Darrow drawing on the back. Sorry for that little brain freeze there. Couldn't remember his name, but I like that cover. Dark Horse Presents, always some interesting stuff inside. And here is Manifest Destiny, issue number 27. Oh, there's a creepy cover. Looks like a bison taken over by that plant monster, whatever it was. They're hunkering down for the winter somewhere out near St. Louis, if I remember. And all of a sudden, all these monsters start attacking them. They built a fort, but are the monsters in their mind? Or are they real? Or is it all this crazy fog? Some crazy fog. Oh, there's a giant monster. So it's Lewis and Clark versus giant monsters. It's been a fun, like I said, it's kind of been a little, well, I guess you could call it slow lately or settled because they're not traveling. For the rest of the series, they've kind of been traveling, even though they've been in little areas here and there. But now they've got to hunker down for the winter, so there's no traveling going on. Like on the back, oh, Horizon. So now, for the first time, they're kind of in one place, and they built a fort, and they're trying to defend it against monsters. Fun book. Who does this book? Chris Dingus, Matthew Roberts, and Owen Gienny. Good stuff. Manifest Destiny. And Invincible, issue number 134. We're on the final rundown of Invincible, The End of All Things, part 2 of 12. Once we get to part 12, the series is over. We're having a final epic battle out in space between, this is the head bad guy, the leader of the Viltrumite Empire, who are Invincible. He's there's Invincible over there. He's half Viltrumite. And he's supposed to be fighting on their side, but he's not. And some of the Viltrumites have come, but they're all basically supermen. And they kind of want to take over everything they can get to. But they've been, and they kind of started out in the way back in issue 1, and they've been in the series all along. But only lately have they been. I think he kind of beat the Empire one other time, but they're back now because they can. They've found that the Viltrumites are always trying to find species they can breed with and make more Viltrumites. And they found this like insects, and the new children can have super strength just like them. So that's how they keep their empire going. And they found some like fast breeding insects and stuff like that. There's always sorts of wacky alien stuff going on. But Invincible's a real good book. The best superhero comic in the universe? I can't think of any superhero comics better. It's excellent. And it looks like Ellis Shalvey and Belair's Injection is back. Wacky cover. There's their logo on the back. It is tough to describe what this one is, except there's science and mysticism all mixed up together, and some mystical monster got himself mixed up in some sort of World Wide Web thing, and some artificial, or is it, no, the artificial intelligence got itself mixed up with some pseudo-mystical stuff. That's what it was. So now the artificial intelligence is kind of trying to learn more about the world, and it's bizarre. It's a really, really strange story. It's kind of like Planetary, only weirder. But I've been enjoying it. I remember the first story arc being quite a puzzler, but ever since then it's been a lot more fun. They got a Sherlock Holmes type character in it, and the second story arc who was good. And now we're back to some of our team from the first story arc who are just trying to solve the puzzle that is this artificial intelligence who might want to kill everyone, might not. We'll have to see. And now we've got Yeast of West number 32. Last issue we saw something with one of the leaders of the political states possibly being killed by rebels who are striking back against her tyranny. Meanwhile, as this series is all about the end of the world and the Four Horsemen coming back and everybody dying eventually. But meanwhile, everybody's just living their life, you know? It's mostly the upper echelon of people this book is about, who are trying to figure out what to do with this whole end of the world thing. So it's a strange book, but it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it all 32 issues, and it's funny. But for the last couple of weeks, I've heard a couple of people who I usually watch on YouTube saying they've had slow weeks with comics where things weren't, they didn't enjoy their comics that much. And I got to say, every one of my comics has been really, really good. I mean, I don't think I've had, I don't remember being that I pick up comics because of their creators. They're always good. So there's not, unless it's a new number one that I'm trying out, I pretty much always enjoy my comics a whole lot because the East of West issue number 32, how's it going to be bad? The other 31 issues were really good, so I expect this one to be good too. And finally, we have Kill or Be Killed number 7. Another one. Brubaker, Phillips, Breitweiser, they never let me down. I like all their comics. There's no way. Oh, this is his... he's trying to find different ways to tell story all the time, so he does it with a photo album here. I read this in his newsletter. I get the Ed Brubaker email newsletter. Oh, it looks like he's going with a 6-panel grid, too. And a photo album to explain the past. And then back to normal. But never I haven't been let down by a week of comics that I can remember. So if you go for creators you like instead of characters, you won't be let down. There we go. Killer Be Killed #7. Finally, we'll give you a little look at my background art here. I mentioned this last week. These are some hand-bound sketch covers that I've been doing of actual issues of World's Finest. Like, I was trying to sell these old issues of World's Finest on eBay, but you know what? Nobody wants issues of World's Finest from 1983. So I decided to make them my own. There's the original cover, World's Finest number 288, and the inside art is by, who did this one? Adrian Gonzalez. So what I did was I just took a panel from inside here. Somewhere in here is that Batman head. And I just kind of picked one. Let's see. Like I said, this is just your regular old issue. Where's that head? I don't know. Well, it's in here somewhere. Batman's head, and I just blew it up and drew it in ink and marker on the cover. So that's what, rather than throw out these old issues that no one wanted, I'm going to make them into art. So I decided to do that with, we got a few-ish, and get to sort of do art in different styles. This one is, what did I say? Adrian Gonzalez, never heard of him. They didn't exactly have the A-team on. This is a Trevor Von Eden issue. Let's give that a look. If you're not familiar with Trevor Von Eden, he did a lot of work for DC in the late 70s and early 80s, and he's a good artist. He was always one of my favorites. There's the original cover. I pulled the staples out, covered it in Bristol board, and then drew on it. So here's some Trevor Von Eden artwork. He does this funky stuff here. His stuff can get real liney. There's a scary Trevor Von Eden Batman. Let me see if Superman. Let me see if I can. Oh, there's the panel I took. That strange pink eye from Trevor Von Eden, and I just blew it up and turned it into that. And I think that one over there is Gene Colan. That I did one Superman so far. And that is a Gene Colan, whoops, fell on the floor, Gene Colan Batman. But that's just a little, little thing I wanted to do. Make my own hand-bound sketch covers of early 80s issues of World's Finest. So, you guys have a good week out there.